to a new video. This is Mo from APC Mastery Path, and I'm glad to be your presenter today. In this video, we're going to be discussing retrieval augmented generative chatbots, what they are composed of, and we're going to be exploring a couple of them open source products that deploy RAG chatbots using open source large language models into action. This video is crafted for construction tech enthusiasts that love to delve into the realm of AI and see the potential areas of usage in the construction industry. Without further ado, let's get started. A RAG chatbot typically relies on providing a wide variety of source documents in different formats, preferably PDF. The text in these PDFs is then split into chunks. The chunks are then embedded, which is basically the conversion of a text value into a numeric value. These numbers are then stored into vectors or a vector database. There are a lot of them examples for vector databases, including Chroma and LaunceDB. When the end user provides a prompt, the large language model then searches into the database for the vector which provides the nearest answer for the question, and then the large language model converts the numeric values into text values to the end user. The first open source tool that deploys retrieval augmented generative chatbots using open source large language models is called GPT4All. It's an initiative which is produced by Nomic team, and you can download it for free from the website GPT4All.io. This piece of software is supported on Windows, Linux and Apple. When you download it and install it, you will be greeted with that screen. So let's explore together what's in there. When you download GPT4All and then you go and click on the three dashes on the left hand side of the screen, you then go to downloads, and it then gives you a wide variety of open source large language models that you can download. Some of these large language models can be used for commercial use, as in this case for the Hermes 2 Mistral. Some other ones, they are not available for commercial use, as that one, Wizard version 1.2, cannot be used commercially. It also allows you to use ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo and ChatGPT 4, but you have to have an API key, and then you have to have a wallet online that is going to be charged accordingly. I have downloaded myself nearly all of them large language models available to test them. You can also go to the gear icon on the top right, which gives you a wide variety of them settings that you can play with. So for each and every single model that you download, you can specify the system prompt that you want. So you can say that you are a construction professional and I want you to respond in accordance with construction questions only. Do not delve deeper into other bits and pieces. Do not delve deeper into other domains. Rely on resources from the construction market. You can also adjust the temperature of the model, which dictates how much the model is creative. The higher the value, the more creative the model is. The less the value, the more precise the model is. And also how many tokens that you're going to use and the likes. Also in this window you can change what is the device that is going to be used for the inference, if it's going to be the GPU or the CPU. How many threads for the CPU also can be used. This application does not just rely on having a chatbot, but also a RAG chatbot. So you can specify a specific directory on your machine which contains PDFs to be queried, or Excel sheets, or wherever they are, or whatever files you have available and you want to query. We're going to be exploring that in a bit. I have prepared for this video a couple of them chats to showcase the actual implementation of this RAG chatbot. So the first one is a bid report chat. In here, I was using that model Hermes 2 Mistral DPO. And I asked the model if I'm going to be working in Singapore and I'm submitting a bid report for a specific client. Give me an outline of the likely titles. And it gave me a very detailed answer about the main headings and subheadings. And then I asked the model, could you please delve deeper into each section? It didn't really delve deeper. It delved a little bit, as you could see here. But at the end, it provided quite a satisfactory result, because at the end of the day, I'm going to be responsible for providing that report to the client. So I have to write it from scratch myself, but any help would be appreciated. The second chat is related to our domain of work, which is providing services for RSS APC candidates. So what I have done here in that one is that I've used Mistral Instruct. If you clicked on the database icon on the top right here, you can then specify which directory or folder you want the chatbot or the large language model to query the documents from. I've chosen the RSS, all submissions that I have access to, and then I asked, give me a good example of procurement and tendering level 2. And it provided a little bit of a generic result, but it gave some sort of context where the answer is coming from. I then provided another prompt, which is from the documents uploaded, give me the example. Here, the actual response was much more detailed and specific to the prompt at hand, and it also gave me all of the references which it relied on to give that response. Another efficient tool which can be used for the deployment of the large language models locally is called LLM Studio. You can download it for free from lmstudio.ai. When you download and install that tool, you're going to be greeted with this window. It has 6 tabs on the left: Home, Search, Chat, a Playground, a Local Server, and Models, which have been downloaded. LLM Studio has access to all of them open source large language models which are existing on the Hugging Face website. There are nearly 150,000 open source models on the Hugging Face website. You can type here whatever model you think you would need and then click on the go. It's going to take some time to list all of the models that are available with that specific name on the Hugging Face website. I've typed Mistral, which is one of the most famous ones. You could see here a lot of them variants and versions of that specific model alongside how many times they have been downloaded. On the right hand side, you would see different variants of the same model depending on how much quantization or compression has been deployed for that specific model. What model to use and which variant to download, that's going to be dependent on a wide variety of them parameters. One of them is the computing power that you have access to, and also the use. Are you relying on chat format or instruction formats and the likes? The end user is going to be the only person who can decide on these matters. Once you have downloaded whatever models you want, you will find them saved here on My Models. LLM Studio relies on local implementation of large language models. I've downloaded a couple of them, as you can see here: Gemma by Google, Llama by Facebook, and the likes. You can initiate a chat in the AI chat. For the purpose of this video, to explore how we can deploy that open source local large language model, I have downloaded the Mistral Instruct version 0.2, the 7 billion parameter one, and it is 4-bit quantized. I put here the same exact prompt that I've used in GPT4All to see the end results, if they are comparable to GPT4All or are they superior here, who's doing well and who's doing bad. As you can see on the screen, it gave a very thorough result for an outline, which can cut the time for processing and drafting the document significantly. When I tried to ask the model to expand on each and every single title, it expanded, but the result was not satisfactory. So it still needs the human input massively, because at the end of the day, the reliability will still lie on you. And that's the main difference between open source solutions and closed source solutions. The Playground tab, that is a bit of an interesting feature in the new versions of LLM Studio, where you can deploy multiple large language models for a wide variety of them use cases. This is gonna sit outside of the scope of this video, but we can explore it in another video. A local server, that is where LLM Studio shines. It can deploy a local server on your machine, and then you can reference that server in other applications to use the downloaded large language models in other applications. You go into the local server and you choose whatever model you would like. For me, I have 5-6 models downloaded, and then you press on Start Server. It's going to take a little bit of time to deploy the server itself, and then you can take a copy of the local host URL and put it in your application, so that the application itself is making the best use of the local server, which embeds the local large language model chosen. Another good tool which deploys open source large language models in the realm of a RAG chatbot is Anything LLM. You can download Anything LLM using the link useanything.com. It is supported in Windows, Mac and Linux. Once you have downloaded it and installed it, you're going to be greeted with a screen like that. You'll have then to create a new workspace. Let's call it our workspace. And then if you go to settings here, you'll then find a wide variety of them settings. Let's go through the most important of them. Let's start with the LLM preference. LLM preference, you would find here, Anything LLM has access to a wide variety of them tools where large language models are stored. Anything LLM itself has access to quite close to 13 models. You can download each and every single one of them and they're going to be stored locally on your machine. But as you can see here, there are not a lot of variants of the same exact model. You wouldn't see lots of 2 billion parameters, 7 billion parameters, 30 billion parameters and the likes. And also the quantization. You can also access the OpenAI large language models, which are GPT3.5 or GPT4. You have to specify here the API key and which model you want. They have a wide variety of them large language models that you can access. You can also perform securely in Azure environment using Anthropic large language models, which are called Claude. The different Claude variants. Again, you need an API key because these ones, they rely on cloud computing. You can also download directly from the Hugging Face website, taking into account that you supply a token and the repository itself. If you have Llama installed in your machine, you can use its local host. It can use the large language model downloaded by Llama directly and locally on your machine. It can also use models downloaded by LM Studio, which is what we're going to discover later on. And there are a wide variety of other bits and pieces as well here. For the transcription model, you're free to choose whatever you would like. For the purpose of that video, let's stick with the built-in one. The embedding, the same. You have a wide variety of models that you can use from OpenAI or Llama or the likes, but for the purpose of that video, we're just going to be sticking with the local or the built-in Anything LLM embedder. The vector database, there's a wide variety of them options. You can use a Chroma, you can use a Lance, you can use a Mongo, you can use a lot of them databases. For the purpose of that video, let's stick with the Lance, which is a local database that is stored locally in your machine. Chroma is a very good example. It's for free, open source, but it's cloud-based. And then you can specify if you wanna have a connection with a specific GitHub repository and the likes. Let's go back to the LLM preference. For the purpose of that video, let's choose the LM Studio one, and then using the local server that we have initiated, we can copy paste that link and paste it here. So I've created a new chat and I've used the same exact prompt that I've used in GPT4All. It initially gave me a very summarized response, just the main titles of the report, which is not enough by any sort, shape, form. I said, could you expand on each and every single title, and it provided a very thorough outline, even much more than the other two tools. However, you have to be careful that there are some gibberish English, as you can see here, and also at the end, in the conclusion, it provided some gibberish characters. So you have to be careful when you're dealing with such tools, that you have to read, proofread, and then expand yourself on the different responses provided. There is also a very important feature within Anything LLM, which is the actual RAG chatbot. So if you go to whatever workspace you have created and then go to that upload button, you can then drag and drop whatever files you need in here or a website, and then you can choose what files are going to be deployed in that specific workspace, and then go to a chat that I have prepared before with these exact documents. I said, give me a good example of procurement and tendering level 2. It provided a very generic answer, which was not enough for me. I needed something from the same exact documents that I have uploaded. So I said from the documents provided and then the same exact prompt, and it gave a very detailed answer, which I'm really happy with. And I think using different prompt techniques, that's going to dictate how the answer is going to be. I have already crafted a separate video for prompting techniques, which I can put the link in the description for. And that is all for today's video. Hope it was useful and enjoyable for you, and that you have learned something new on how to deploy the retrieval augmented generative chatbots, the open source ones, in the construction industry. Do not forget to visit our website www.apcmasterypath.co.uk for further insights and videos. At APC Mastery Path, we provide bespoke mentoring and teaching packages for RICS APC candidates, so do not forget to check that out. Thanks a lot for watching, and catch you in the next one. Cheers guys.